Warning! Graphic pest control video ahead. Do not watch if you might be offended. If, however, you really like watching pest control videos, then hello again and welcome to the Squirrel Hunter channel. Please continue and watch us as we control pest populations with silenced air rifles here in the UK. If you have any questions, can you please check the description below first to see if it's already been answered and for some useful links. Thank you. As you can see by the date on the screen, we're still on 2019 footage. We're at Squirrel Hill, and this is Bro on his feeder, formerly my position. We have another day out, 20 days I do believe since the last effort, where he had 11 from here, I had 16. It's around this time of year where the feeders come into their own. There's not a lot of natural food about. All the young squirrels have been weaned. They're out and about with their parents, forging their way in the world, and they come across a nice free pile of food. As you can see, that last one ran away. Hopefully Bro will do a bit better. He's using his Air Arms S510 in 177. He's launching one of our favourite pellets, the Barracuda Hunter Extreme. Does a great job. This is his first visitor of the day. He actually gets a shot at. Bit of a spoiler for you there, he's going to shoot this one. I might have to fast forward some of this footage because currently I'm looking at well over an hour's worth of footage. Give you some idea how well the day went. I'll let you have a watch of the video and see for yourself. So I'll just speed it up now, I think. As I said in the previous video to this one, I only speed it up just to give you an idea of how long it takes for them to settle sometimes. This is 5 times speed. They can mess about a lot. They didn't come here for a look around normally. They normally come here to sit down and have some food. They don't have to feed to take a shot. They just have to go still. And that one went on alert for some reason. That's just as good as sitting to feed. Well, almost as good, I think. When they sit to feed with the head tucked in, it's less likely to get a head movement and more predictable, but when they freeze on alert like that, it's usually a good time to take a shot. Nicely done there, Bro. Here we have another one on the side of a tree. Feeder just below it, I do believe. Looks pretty agitated to me with all that tail flicking. You just know this one's going to be trouble, don't you? Time for a speed up, I think. A bit more 5 times speed. It's pretty quick, but another squirrel will appear in view as we follow this one to the ground. There's one over there, back of the tree there. See it muching about. Bro's looking at this one here, waiting for a shot to present itself, and this looks like it could be it. That wasn't as good a shot as it should be. Don't think it was head movement to blame this time, looking at the video. So maybe slight wobble, possibly a dodgy pellet. It hasn't run away. Sounds like he's taken a second shot. Didn't hear a pop of a skull though. Definitely took another shot at it, even though it didn't sound like the first one. The reason he's not playing with the camera anymore is because that second squirrel I drew your attention to earlier on. Somewhere up the tree watching him, I think. He's lining up on it to take a shot. That sounds like a good head impact. There it was. Hanging on the side of the tree. That'll do. 2 down. You get that type of action this time of year. Squirrels tend to move around in 2s, 3s and even 4s. With a likely customer coming down the hill. You can see that Bro's been out and picked up the squirrels on the ground, removed them from the area. Probably decided that some of the reactions he was getting were to do with the dead bodies. And rather than just speed it up this time, I've chopped a big chunk of video out. There's an awful lot of it. Them running around the tree. You couldn't really see them very well. difficult to catch them on the film. Chasing the one with the video camera and then it disappears and another one appears. Made me a bit sick watching it, so I cut it out and basically skipped forward the same piece of video to when they settled down. One of them will present a shot in a minute. It's the one on the ground as it happens. You can't see it properly, but it's unfortunate. Especially unfortunate for the squirrel. The second one's run up the tree now. The bro had switched his camera off and then had to switch it back on again. This is the second squirrel. It's on the side of the tree and just decided to stick its head out. Another nice shot there. Side of the tree. That's the two that came together. And you got both of them in the end. Nicely done, bro. See the damage to the bark on both sides. It's only on the surface was what the claws have done to the outer rough edges of the bark. Quite well visited this tree. There we go. That's how much interest they've got in a dead one. A dead comrade several feet from him or her. It sits there to feed. Bro's watching this now down the scope of his S510. It's a Hawk Sport HD scope, I think. Go on, son, go back to feeding. There we go. And that's the usual result when you get a calm squirrel sat feeding. Ever so easy to take a nice accurate headshot. Just a few spinal nerves kicking. See the link in the description tells you why. Bleeding out the ears, it's always a good sign. Unless you're a squirrel, that is. This one snuck up on bro. It must have come down the tree or something. There we go. I don't want to feed on the dirt. That'll do. You just sit there. See the head movement. Turn the camera off there, but I know he's taken a second shot of that one because he told me. I can get to go out and grab that one. And while he was out there, I think he picked up a few. Perfect. Exactly what you want to happen. That's one of our all-time favourite positions to shoot a squirrel. The quartering towards your shot. Try and shoot him in the eyebrow, or even straight on. Did you get that reaction then? Much better than the last one. If you've got a feeding squirrel, it's very difficult to miss them if you time them right. If you've done everything else correct. It's normally head movement that will catch you out. We'll speed this up as well. More of the same faffing about. You think it'd be pretty obvious where the weight is, that'll do. And watch reaction to this shot in a second. Where it hits the ground. Wasn't a perfectly good headshot. Bros had to go and shoot that a second time. It didn't get away. This is exactly the point we make about headshots. You can body shot all you like. The moment you get a body shot that doesn't work properly, they run off. Then you've got to get it to hide and chase them around the woods. Whereas with a slightly off headshot, you can usually administer a second shot, or you only have to go to the feeder to pick them up. It's just that simple. This is going to be another one, I think. Time to fast forward. And yet again, so it's doing the tour de feeder. It's the trouble when you have to try and work a camera and shoot a squirrel. You've actually got to give up on the rifle until they sit still. This could be it here. Sometimes you've got to take your opportunities when they arise. That's what a good reaction to a headshot looks like. Thud on the ground, with some lame kicking in the legs. Sometimes results in a jump, which is purely accidental. Definitely dead, that squirrel. As you may notice, a lot of them come down from that direction. Awful lot from the 12 till 2 sort of direction. Sometimes they'll come down the tree. On the odd occasion they'll come from behind. But an awful lot of them must be bed down. That is actually up the hill to the peak. If you climbed up behind the back of that tree and went straight up, you'd go up the hill. And I'm sort of a bit further up and round a lot further to the right where my feeder is. Anyway, to the job in hand. This one's about to sit still right now. And Bro is watching again, delivers another excellent headshot. They don't often lay completely still, as they do now and again. The odd twitch is normal. See, the corpses have disappeared again. He's decided to go and pick up a bit more regular, which I've done a lot lately, just to see what happens. Yet more fast forwarding. As you can see the reason why. They do mess about here. It can be quite frustrating at times. That'll do. Sit still, son. Nicely taken shot there, Bro. That one's not running away before anyone thinks it is. It just happens to be the nervous twitches of the legs. They happen to be pointing at the ground, as you can see. It's not in control of its actions whatsoever. No need to fast forward this one. Looks like this one snuck up on Bro. It's come straight down. There we are. Wish they all did that. Much easier to edit these videos if they did. And Bro just making sure he's nice and calm. There we go, straight back to where the crosshairs are. That's a perfectly good shot. Where the camera's pointing now. It's quite difficult to find things sometimes looking at that small viewfinder, especially when it's over to your left a bit. At some point I'll do a little review of my hide, how I set up to shoot. If anyone's interested what that looks like, how I organise it, what I do, where I put things, make my life a little bit easier. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. This one doesn't mess about for too long. Comes in a bit quicker than the others. There we go. I thought the head movement almost got him there, but he still managed to land a deadly shot on him. I think it was trying to put its head back. The shot was still good. Perfectly good kill shot. That's how much I care that you're dead by me, this one's thinking. They ain't worried about blood. Sometimes they're not even worried about a dead body next to them. Never thinking that they might end up the same way. See, that's a straight on headshot. The claret's pumping it straight between the eyes. Normally when I do them type of shots, I'll rest the horizontal crosshair right on their eyebrows. It's pretty much what Bro did. Here comes another messer. Speed him up on his way. No corpses in sight, so Bro's been out and picked up. There we go. Perfect. I don't know why they sit on top of the lid like that. It doesn't matter. They end up face down in the corner. Never quite figured out why it gets called corn when it's actually wheat. Maybe someone can explain that to me. Another victim. If I'm not mistaken, this is victim number 16 turning up. If I remember rightly as well. Right before we went home, I thought he was on 15 at this point. We'd had a rather good day out. Considering we had 11 last week, 15, well actually 16 this week. Maybe 27 from this feeder in the space of 2 outings. Not too shabby, eh? He's got to shoot it first. Of course I know he's going to. Here we go. Wait for the shot. And it's a good one. That's number 16 in the bag. It's a good day out in anyone's book. The landowner will be very pleased. So it's over to me now. I'll be using my Theoban Rapid .20 caliber with a Discovery scope on top, launching JSB exacts, 18 foot-pound. Yes, it is over the legal limit in the UK, but I do have a license for it as the law demands. Anyway, enough of that. I'm actually in the hide, all set up, taking me test shots as we always do. I know the rifle's on. I'm very confident. The seamless cut between two bits of footage there. The squirrel teleports itself onto the side of the tree, so it would appear. I'm not sure if that one came down the tree or if it came from behind through the ferns. It didn't run up the log on the left like it normally does, or like they normally do even. We don't mind, as long as there's a squirrel in front of us. That one's gone down underneath the feeder now. It's almost impossible to see it properly to shoot it. I'm looking at it through the Discovery scope, and I do like that scope. Very good. But it's not magic, and I have to wait to the squirrel to stick its head out a little bit so I can see it to shoot. There we are. Can see enough of it to stick a pellet in the top of its head. Quite an annoying gap under there. I'm surrounded by trees. The light doesn't get in here very much. Only when the sun gets quite high will it penetrate into the wood this far. It also has other benefits. It's quite good at resisting wind, as you'll see in future videos. That's me off my mark for the day. Bearing in mind I had 16 from this location 20 days ago. Bro had 11 from his, so he's already on 16 for the day. The place is teeming with life. Really is nice to be out early morning to hear the dawn chorus. All the birds waking up. I spotted a squirrel coming in. It's on the base of that tree to the left there. As if by magic, runs up the log of death. Or the log of doom, I should say. Sounds better, doesn't it? The log of doom. Because it only goes to one place, and that's to the squirrel's doom. Oh, we're going to get messed around this time. I think I'll just speed it up anyway. There's a bit of bizarre behaviour here. It's quite an agitated squirrel, this one. Normally when they sit on the top, they usually go on alert. This one ends up going down underneath the feeder. Chews on the dead one. We've seen them attack the ones on the ground before now. This is a bit of a bizarre one. He's having a good old gnaw on it. I can see his head perfectly. I'm watching through the scope. I'm going to take the shot. Not while it's dining on wheat, while it's dining on the leg of a other body part I couldn't quite see. Of a fallen comrade. Obviously not much of a comrade if you want to gnaw on him. The result was the same. That'll do. Another reason we put the feeder here, a bit of a slope away from it. I've decided I'm going to go and pick up now. Get myself out. Grab them squirrels. Can't be having any more of that. What I normally do is just bring them back, put them in the hide. Just recently I've taken to put a big plastic bag in there. Makes it easier to collect them up at the end. You just chuck them in the bag. That'll do. We'll slip this straight over to fast forward motion. That's one thing, when you see them coming from a distance, you tend to turn the camera on and get quite a bit of footage. And if they mess about, it doesn't normally help matters. As you might guess, that's the perfect position for a shot. So I take it as soon as he does it a second time. No more messing around for you, my boy. Pleased with that shot. He's buried his head in that root. On to the next victim. This one just appeared as if by magic on the side of the tree. Probably caught me playing games on my phone or playing on Facebook or chatting away. It's the trouble when you can get a good 4G signal. It's a bit on and off up here, but I can get through to Facebook normally. Chat with the lads. Compare notes with other people all over the world, believe it or not. This'll do. Pretty much like the last one. Didn't even pay attention to the corpse on the floor. Straight on head foot with 18 foot-pounds tends to do the business. My legal limit air rifle, my Daystate Mark IV 177, about 10.69 foot-pounds at the muzzle. Still got 9 foot-pounds there. Does just as good a job in killing them. Happy with that one. This one came in from the right. It's in the middle of the track, you see there. I'll zoom in on him for you. Let's see which direction he come from. And I'll speed it up. Rather bizarrely, this one walks straight past the feeder to the left, like it's not going to go to it, and then decides to get on the log of doom and go up to the tree with the feeder on it. I've shot them off there before. Never mind. As soon as it sits in the right position, nice and still, it'll be getting one off me, regardless of where it sits. And that looks like a good place as any. Oops, a daisy. Someone can't work the camera. Could have edited that out, but we all make mistakes, don't we? Sounds like I'm reloading my magazine. That'll do though. A bit of a strange one this. I just noticed the squirrels on the log of doom. Yeah, okay, I wasn't paying attention again. Whenever I'm messing around with my phone, I always flip my eyes out now and again. It's obviously not happy, this squirrel. It's run up the tree. I thought he's going to come back any second. Then I decided to have a look at the tree and spot him, so I retrained the camera on him. I've shot them here before now, so if he sits still there long enough. Nope, haven't even had a chance to set the camera up, and that one's gone for good. Disappeared completely by the look of it. Can't get the camera up any higher, so I turned it off. Then almost instantaneously, I had to turn it back on again. Comes back down. Quite bizarre what they do, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's the same squirrel. Unless there's another one hiding around the back of the tree. Which there could have been. Well, I'll speed him up now. You see him have a good old much about. Cut the corpses on the floor. Have a look at them. I often think to myself that while they're doing that, it's the best time to move. So I think they're more intent on looking at the squirrels on the ground than they are looking out for danger. And this one is in danger right now. Don't mess me about too much, son. See where the blood just gushes onto the ground. That'll do for me. It's worth the wait in the end. Do a bit of bird watching. A lot of them come down and pick up the grain on the ground. If you ever have the misfortune to have a load of your wheat dragged out of the feeder for whatever reason onto the ground, and you come there the next week, you probably wouldn't find any, because all the local wildlife would have mopped it up. All the birds, all the mice, rats, deer, anything really. They'll all have a go, and the dead giveaway is the bare soil. Anyway, this one's about to get shot right in the head this time round. Wish we had more like that these days. Was a time they would all sit on the feeder, and that would be the result. Quite happy with that shot. I'll leave this bit of video to play out in its entirety. No fast forwarding. It's not a long clip, but there is 2 squirrels on here. I will select the first one that presents an opportunity to shoot it properly, and I will also try to take the second squirrel as it goes on alert. Always best to go for the cast iron shot, which is that one there. And the other one's run at the tree. Sounds like I'm suffering some sort of magazine issue. There's the second squirrel. Sometimes you can go from having no squirrels to 2 in just that short amount of time. When you get 3 or 4 squirrels, it's a little difficult to get them all. I'll shoot as many as I can. I do wonder if it's some of them are this year's young, possibly. It's hard to tell sometimes. Or just very experienced. There's another one coming from the left this time. It's an unusual direction for this feeder. After a while you get to know where the likely spots are as you learn the permission. Bit of fast forwarding. You'd think it was on the ground to start with, it would go straight to the feeder, wouldn't you? But no, log of doom is the log of choice. Wait for it. That's what you get for sitting still. We've used the old logs in a few places before. It wasn't until I saw that one episode on Squirrel Hill where one of those squirrels ran up this particular piece of wood. It didn't go to anywhere at all. Just ran up it because it was there. And I thought, wonder if I cut the end off that and put it to my tree. Works wonders. I even laid them down on the floor. When I know a certain direction they come in, I'll pull logs around just to make a place where they can walk on it. I can see them coming a mile away. There's quite a few ferns around. I will remove the odd fern here and there, just to ease my view. If there's any fallen trees, I'll pull them out the way. Any obstructions I tend to remove, just to make sure I can see them come in. And also, if you put a log down for them to run up, you get all their scents on it. They tend to use it as a runway. It's almost like a dog sniffing the ground, checking the newspaper, see who's been around, finding out what's going on. And of course, when they get to the end of it, they find a feeder. This one sat still. I shoot him there as well. No issues with that shot. Looks dead to me. And indeed it was dead. Quick zoom in to check it. Here's another one that's caught me unawares. It's come dashing in. I don't like it when they do that. That's better. That's the type of thing I like to see. You can virtually count the seconds between feeding. If you hold the crosshairs on their head when they go to feed, keep the crosshairs there, don't move. And when they get the weight back, because their backside's still in the same place it was to start with, the head comes back to the same place, almost exactly into the crosshairs. And you can take a perfectly good shot. Works like clockwork, that does. Another one's dead. You can see I'm having a good day out. And yet another has come dashing in. I say that, but I can't really remember. 2019. Most likely I was playing some game on my phone. As the action peters out a bit, you get a bit bored. That'll do though. And my phone beeping there. It's me and Bro comparing notes, talking about how far we got. We also use it to arrange times to pack up. I think I'm still watching that one through the scope. That's where it's come to rest. Anytime I stopped to get the camera was when I realised it was dead. Spotted this one coming, a bit more alert this time. Probably spotted it bouncing around in the background there. You put the camera on and wait for it to turn up. Strep the log of doom. It's not helpful, is it? Back of the tree. Should appear on the right hand side of the tree any second now. There it is. This one didn't mess about that much. I'll let this bit of video footage run. It's not worth speeding up. I'm zooming in now because I'm looking at the body language of this squirrel and I'm thinking this one's going to sit and feed. Could smell the other squirrels. None in sight. And by now I've picked up the Theban Rapid. I say picked it up, it's normally propped up on the shooting sticks I made. My Copperlof Hunter's Vermin. It's an excellent channel if you haven't looked at it before. Made them years ago, I've used them ever since. If he stays still like that, he'll be in trouble. Yep, definitely in trouble. I usually rest the butt of my gun in the cup holder on my chair. These days I've made myself a little adapter to go on the chair. So the rifle's almost ready to shoot. I'm just going to pick the back end of it up a fraction. I'll show you that in another video if you're interested. This results in less movement, less likelihood of spooking your quarry when you're about to take a shot. I went sloped in from the left. Didn't fancy the log of doom by the look of it. It's always one rebel, isn't there? I'll fast forward him now, I think. As you can see, he wants to have a little investigate, but he's actually heading towards the feeder itself. At this point I thought he was going to actually open the lid and take a feed. As you can see, he's climbed on the roof of the feeder, and I do apologise for not repositioning the camera. I was too busy lining up to do that. This one drops down the sight and gets wedged behind the back of the feeder. Bit annoying that really when that happens. Just about to see it twitching. Let go now. I wonder where it's gone. It's a magic squirrel. It's actually wedged in the bottom of that feeder. Right at the back. This is squirrel 16 for me coming in. At this point I thought Brad only had 15. I'll say only. I didn't find out he had the 16th until I turned out to pick him up. He gleefully showed me the 16th. I thought it was a brilliant thing to happen. This one could be in trouble right now. Nice and still like that. And another one went tearing off to the right. I never noticed that before. Maybe if I'd waited I would have had 17. We'd already agreed to go though. Still, there's my 16. Cracking day out. And there's our haul together. 32 squirrels. Excellent day out. Landowner was very, very pleased with our efforts. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and share. Thank you.